Victoria Woodhull, Wall Street's first female broker. The history of investing is largely male and largely white. In the stock market's 200-year-old history, opportunity for women and people of color have been very few and far between. Naturally, when I read the story about Victoria Woodhull, I was excited to share it. I've been involved in the markets for over 5 years now, so the fact that I hadn't even heard her name was a little bit sus. Victoria's story is rarely told, and when it is, it's filled with much rumor and conjecture. It's hard to tell the difference between fact and fiction. So, you came to the right place, let's spit the facts. Before we talk about how Victoria and her sister opened the first female brokerage in 1870, let's go back and see where it all started. We're gonna go back to 1852, the year that their father, Buck, hung a sign advertising Victoria, age 14, and Tennessee, age 7, as mediums who could communicate with the dead, charging $1 per visit. This laid the groundwork for both of their careers. In 1868, Victoria, now 30, and Tennessee, now 22, was introduced to Cornelius Vanderbilt, one of the richest Americans in history. Vanderbilt was also considered Wall Street royalty. He was also incredibly superstitious. After having a difficult year in which he lost his wife, he was seeking a little direction. He was so impressed with Victoria and Tennessee that he became their primary client. He also decided to help Victoria and Tennessee with the next steps in providing finances needed to help them open Woodhull Clafin & Co., the first for-women, by-women brokerage firm in the U.S. On February 5th, 1870, Victoria and Tennessee officially opened the doors to Woodhull Clafin & Co., despite the sign they hung stating, "Gentlemen will state their business and then retire at once." Most of the estimated 4,000 visitors that day were men. The press wasn't sure what to make of these two women. The New York Times ran an article called Wall Street Aroused. With the press came the nicknames. Victoria and Tennessee were called the Queens of Finance. A Harper's Weekly cartoon dubbed them the Bewitching Brokers. The news department did not believe that the women could become successful because there wasn't enough of a market. However, Victoria and Tennessee knew something the press did not. Women, including teachers, small business owners, society wives, widows, and even some high-priced sex workers, had money to invest, and they wanted help doing it. Woodhull Clafin & Co. was a huge success. Victoria and Tennessee made around $700,000 in the first 6 weeks. That's $13 million today. But opening a successful brokerage wasn't the whole plan. As Victoria later said, "I got into Wall Street not particularly because I wanted to be a broker, but because I wanted to plant the flag of the women's rebellion in the center of the continent." In some ways, that's exactly what she did. On May 14th, 1870, Victoria and Tennessee used the profits from the brokerage to launch Woodhull and Claflin's Weekly, one of the country's first publications published by women. In 1871, Victoria became the first woman to address a congressional House committee. She argued that women should already have the right to vote. Based on the 14th and 15th Amendment, Congress, as we know, didn't go for it. Women didn't get the right to vote until the 19th Amendment was ratified in 1920. Undeterred from this setback, Victoria ran for President of the United States. In 1872, she was officially nominated by the Equal Rights Party, with Frederick Douglass, a civil rights activist and abolitionist, as her VP. She, of course, didn't win. Not only did Victoria spend Election Day in jail after publishing a controversial story in Woodhull and Claflin's Weekly, Voting America just wasn't her biggest fan. Her views of free love, that women should have the right to choose who they want to marry, and when they want to divorce, earned her the nickname Mrs. Satan, after Harper's Weekly published a cartoon literally depicting her as the devil. Despite the scandals surrounding her, and also despite somehow that she was still relatively unknown, Victoria played a pivotal role in carving a place for women in investing. She and her sister gave women an opportunity to take control and manage their finances in a time where it was largely unheard of. And she showed women firsthand the power that comes with financial opportunity, even if it was controversial. Let's go, Victoria! So, now you know Wall Street's first female broker. Follow me for more short little tidbits of financial news and investing. My name's Tori, and thanks for watching. I do this a lot. But okay, I think that was good. That was like 100 takes. We're good.